Welcome to another interview with the Vocero Hispano. This week we're going to be meeting a lot of candidates who are running for different positions in this upcoming election, which takes place on November 8th. Today I have Reppart, who is currently our Grand Rapids Commissioner for the 1st Ward. He is here to speak to us about his re-election process and if he is re-elected, what he plans on doing. Thank you so much for being here with us. I know that it's a high peak right now for campaigning and all of that, so we appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. It's lovely to be here with you.
Yeah, so I mentioned that you're already our commissioner. How has your experience been so far as commissioner?
Yeah, well, I ran for commissioner because I wanted to be involved at changing systems. And so in that regard, it's been interesting, a lot of learning. The city is very complicated and complex. And I want to be able to take what I've learned in the last 5 years and continue to be able to use it to benefit the people of the 1st Ward. I love the work. I love bringing people together. I love collaboration to try to solve problems. And we've been doing that as a commission. I'm excited to keep doing it.
And you mentioned that you're the commissioner for the 1st Ward. So what exactly does that cover? What areas do you cover?
Yeah, so it's really everything west of the river, and then it covers a portion of downtown and around Garfield Park all the way down to 28th Street. So it's a large area. 6 neighborhood associations, 6 business districts. Each one has its own unique needs and flavor, and my job is to try to listen and balance it all.
So we know that commissioners usually have their meetings, but what are some of the duties that you guys are responsible for?
So in addition to our packed Tuesdays, which some of those days are 14-hour days with standing committee meetings, where I'm assigned to a corridor improvement authority. So I'm assigned to Cesar y Chavez and South Division. So every month I meet with business leaders from those 2 corridors to talk about the challenges that they're facing, the opportunities, and work together to address them. With that group, we also get some money to spend to invest it in banners and trash cans and bike racks or trying to slow down traffic, events, things like that. So we get out into the community like that. I'm assigned to the liaison committee for Grand Rapids Public Schools. I'm assigned to the Michigan Works Board, a governing board, and the Kent County Community Action Board, as well as the Lead-Free Kids Task Force, the Energy Advisory Committee. So I get to sit on these specific committees to solve those problems. The biggest job we have is passing the budget, approving projects, and providing accountability to our appointed leaders.
Okay. Have you seen any differences during the pandemic? Because I feel like within these past few years, we've been through a lot as a city. And the pandemic obviously has affected all of us. Has there been any challenges within the pandemic that you saw as a commissioner?
Yeah. First off, I'm really proud of how our city navigated the pandemic. It was incredibly difficult. There was so much information, so much new information being thrown at all of us. Some of us, like myself, had to be home with my kids, trying to navigate how to get them on Zoom meetings in the morning. I think that for the city, it's done a couple of good things, and there's a couple of lingering challenges on the wake of it. Some of the good things is that it's caused us to kind of look at the things that maybe, the rules that we had, that maybe there wasn't a great reason for it, and be like, maybe we can get rid of that rule. So a perfect example is social zones. We were able to support businesses in that way. There was some things that we just need to make minor adjustments to, and then we can provide an extra resources to business. But it certainly has affected people's mental health. I think that it's really, a lot of people are still struggling. And so there's been some new conversation about how do we truly support people in addition to, the built environment of the city, but how do we truly support residents in the things that they need?
Yeah, and you mentioned mental health, and I think that during the pandemic, that's something that, everybody was awoken by it. I think that all of us kind of, had to deal with our mental health, so it was a big situation, a big issue.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened during the pandemic was kind of the uptick of violence in the city. And that's something that I wanted to speak to you about. I've seen a lot of campaigning or billboards of Safe GR, kind of targeting you in a way, so I just wanted to speak about that. What can you say about that specific campaign that has been going around about you?
Yeah, so first of all, I take the safety of the city very serious. I take this job very serious. I I give it my best effort. I actually left my job at the Other Way Ministries to be able to do this full time for the last 3 years. And the safety of our city is of high importance to me. I think the conversation that we're having right now is, what does it mean for people to feel safe? And traditionally, that's been the only metrics we used were crime statistics and how our police department responded. What I'm interested in seeing and what we're doing as a city is expanding a sense of safety. You feeling safe means that you've got an affordable place to live. It means that you have a job that pays your bills. It means that your kids have a school where they can thrive and achieve and have people who look like them who are teaching them. So there are a lot of factors that influence people's safety. So the message that I want to send is, I care about the safety of everybody. And I'm going to continue to promote innovative solutions that really help people feel safe. One aspect of that is traditional policing. But then there are things like mental health co-response, where we send social workers to calls. Homeless outreach, where if a homeless individual or somebody who's experiencing homelessness needs help, let's send them some help. Or things like cure violence, which is not a police strategy at all. It helps to disrupt violence in the community using community members. These are the things that I'm a promoter of and will continue to promote. Unfortunately, this campaign has painted a couple of my votes in an unfair way. Those votes I made were with good reason and with respect to my colleagues, and I believe we've had a lot of conversations about public safety, and I hope people will see the totality of that conversation when they're considering voting in November.
Yeah, and I was reading some articles about that whole campaign that they have going on, and it looks like there's some inaccurate statistics being promoted as well. So I wish you the best of luck in that. I know it's probably difficult to be targeted right now, especially when it has to do with the safety of the city.
That's right. Because, I mean, on one of the flyers that they put out, they had me laughing next to a bunch of grim crime statistics, as if that's something that I would ever do. I take it very seriously, and we are addressing it, and we will continue to trend in the right direction as a city.
Yeah. Speaking of this issue and others, what are some of the things that you could propose or support if you get reelected as commissioner? Yeah,
so we just rolled out the mental health co-response in July.
Okay.
We just have one car that's doing that work. I think that needs to expand in a significant way. There's so many calls for service that we get as a police department, our police department receives, where they can benefit from the expertise of a social worker on that team. I think that we continue to talk about the things that we can redirect our police department away from. So we've done that with parking tickets. They no longer write parking tickets.
Okay.
We handle that with mobile GR. That then frees the department up to focus on getting guns off the street and addressing violent crime. There are a few more things like that we can do within the department, little small things that we can make. And we're going to continue to, I met with the chief about a new de-escalation training that he's hoping to bring from Los Angeles that helps the officers to, on their way to a call as well as during that interaction, keep themselves regulated and help the person that they're interacting with to stay regulated as well, which ultimately will calm things down and help everybody feel safe.
Okay, that's interesting that you mentioned that. We've had Windstrom here a few times, so it's pretty interesting that you said that and that you both are speaking about that de-escalation.
Yeah.
And I know that you're pretty involved with the community as well. Your previous background kind of shows that you've been involved with the Other Way Ministries. So can you speak to me a little bit about how your experience has been with that organization?
Yeah, my experiences in community development. I was at the Other Way for 23 years, 5 as the executive director. I worked with some incredible people from the neighborhood there on West Fulton. We had programs, we had free childcare working with the Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative. We had a food co-op and food pantry working with Access of West Michigan. Programs for men, women, children, and families. And in that neighborhood, it's about 30% Hispanic, Latino. So that's where my whole career was prior to being elected on the city commission. And the nice thing is that on the commission I get to continue to be involved in those neighborhoods and working with that corridor improvement authority to help slow traffic down on Cesar Chavez, on Division, working with that group to try to find wealth building opportunities for people and create opportunity within those corridors, because there's a lot of vacant land, there's a lot of vacant storefronts, and I want to make sure that that opportunity gets to the people who live in those neighborhoods. So it's been really fun to be able to work in those new places in the city.
Okay, and you mentioned the Hispanic community as well. If you were to be reelected, what are some of the ways that you would support this specific community?
Yeah, it's, the first ward has the highest percentage of Hispanic voters and residents, and so it's very important to me. In my first 5 years, I've been pleased to support our resolutions for driver's license for all, and drove to Lansing to help introduce that. We'll keep hoping that's on our legislative agenda. Obviously, affordable housing touches all community members, but particularly how can we do that in these neighborhoods where there hasn't been a lot of affordable housing that's been developed. During the pandemic, we supported the La Lucha Fund to make sure that undocumented residents would have some support. They couldn't qualify for unemployment, or they couldn't get some of these other benefits, so I was really proud to support that. But it really is working with those, in particularly those two business districts, the Roosevelt Park neighborhood, South Division, Burton Heights, the Black Hills, being present there, promoting ownership and opportunity. Those are the kind of things that I'm interested in.
Okay, and I have seen you around, I've seen you involved, so I thank you for that too, because I think our community kind of wants people to be involved and kind of hear them out, so I know that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And if you were to be reelected, why do you believe that people should reelect you this time?
Yeah, the main thing I want our city to be affordable for everybody. I want our city to be equitable. So as we grow, I don't want to leave anybody behind, and I want our city to be sustainable in the sense that we have a future generation who is depending on us to care for the earth. And so I'm committed I've got a lot of things in motion right now. I've been around the table for the past 5 years. I've gained all that experience, all that expertise, and that knowledge about the complexity of what we're working in the city. And I want to be able to keep using it, leveraging it for affordable housing, for justice for the environment, to make sure that a situation like Patrick Lea never happens in our city again with public safety. And also to make sure that everybody can participate in the economic growth. So I've got that stuff in motion. I want to be able to be sitting up there and vote for it when it comes to us. And I think that people should vote for me because my heart is with the community, and I want to see everybody thrive in our community.
And then just one last question is, why are you seeking a re-election? A lot of people probably are like, during these past few years, there have been many challenges and difficult things that we've all gone through. So why are you seeking the re-election?
Yeah, it has been intense. And as a group, we've led our city through some very difficult times. And I really am proud of what we've accomplished and how we've handled ourselves during that time. I have the highest respect and regard for my colleagues. I feel like we have a great team up there. And we are working on the things that are going to matter most to the residents of Grand Rapids. And so I want to, again, like I said, I want to be up there to vote for that lead ordinance that helps us protect children, and particularly the 49504, 3, and 7. I want to be up there when we pass our green revolving energy fund or finally put solar on the Butterworth landfill. And I want to keep working with the people that I'm working with. They're people that I respect, and I think that they bring their best work to the Grand Rapids residents, and it's an honor and privilege to work with them.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Is there anything else that you would like the community to know about, maybe about you or the whole election process?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so on my website, kurtreppart.com, there's my positions on all the issues, or the main issues that we're dealing with. as well as what I would hope to do if I get reelected. So please check that out. You can vote. You can continue to vote all the way up until November 8th by walking into the clerk's office and voting. The opportunity to request an absentee ballot just passed yesterday, but people can vote all the way up at the clerk's office or at their polling location in their neighborhood.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for letting us learn a little bit more about you, what you have been doing in the past. I've seen your name a few times. I've seen you everywhere, so it's good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's wonderful to be here.
Okay. Wish you the best of luck as well.
Thanks so much.
Okay. The elections do take place on Tuesday, November 8th. To check out if you are registered, you can visit michigan.gov/vote, or you can go to grandrapidsmi.gov/election to check what specific area you're located in and who, or you can check out your absentee or your ballot as well, sorry. And then for more information about Kurt Reppart, you can visit kurtreppart.com and follow him on Facebook at Kurt Reppart for First Ward Commissioner, City Commissioner as well. For more interviews in English and Spanish, you can visit our YouTube page at Vocero Hispano TV, our Facebook page at Vocero Hispano, and our website at vocerous.com.